Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Mister IQprof and today I am starting a new series in which I will teach you, a beginner to Minecraft, how to redstone. Each and every episode will be as short as possible and I will cover a different redstone topic every time. So before we get into the very first topic of today, I would like to answer a frequently asked question that beginners have when playing Minecraft for the first time, which is, what is redstone? Well, redstone is basically the electricity in Minecraft. It allows us to create machine, automated doors, or even flying machines, and do cool stuff like this. This. Or even this. But in the real world, electricity works very different of course compared to redstone, and that's why I am here to teach you how to redstone. So in the first few episodes I will cover the basics of redstone mechanics, and in this episode we will talk about redstone inputs. So Minecraft has given us quite a variety of redstone inputs, and these over here are all of the basic ones, and as you can see it's quite a lot of them, and we will cover each and every one of them in depth in this video. So let's start off with the first redstone input, which is the redstone block. So the redstone block is basically a power source which delivers a redstone strength of 15, and that means we can power up to 15 pieces of redstone dust connected to it like so. So when we look at the first piece connected to the redstone block, we can see that it has a power level of 15, and when we go all the way to the left, you can see that the last piece of redstone dust has a power level of 1. And if we try to go even further, you can see that this redstone dust over here, the 16th piece, does not have power anymore, which means we can only have a maximum of 15 blocks away from the power source before the signal has died down completely. So then we've got the redstone torch. So the redstone torch is very similar to the redstone block, and that is because it gives off a strength signal of 15 as well, but it has a other property, and that is that it can also be turned off if it is connected to a block which is powered by another power source like so. So in this case we've got a redstone torch over here which powers this block above it, and then we've placed down another redstone torch on top of that block, and now this redstone torch is turned off like so, and this property isn't available with the redstone block. So that's the difference. Moving on, we've got a stone button, and a stone button is basically what it says. When you right mouse click on it, you can see that it also gives off a redstone strength of 15, and it stays on for 10 redstone ticks, which is equal to 1 second in real life. Then we've also got the wooden buttons, which stays on longer compared to the stone buttons. It stays on for 1.5 seconds or 15 redstone ticks. And it also has a property that it can be interacted with projectiles. So when we shoot an arrow or something else into it, you can see that the button stays on, and we can do the same with a stone button. A stone button will not interact with a projectile in it, and as you can see, a wooden button will. And when a projectile is stuck inside of a wooden button, it will stay on until that projectile gets despawned or gets picked up by the player. Moving on, we've got a lever, which is basically an on and off switch. We've also got wooden pressure plates, which can detect mobs, projectiles, and items. So when we shoot an arrow inside there, you can see it gives off a redstone power strength of 15. We can throw an item on there, we can stand on it ourselves, or we can spawn a mob on there, and it will detect it also. We've also got a stone pressure plate, which is able to detect mobs but unable to detect projectiles or items. And then we've got the different weighted pressure plates. So here we've got the light weighted pressure plate, and here we've got the heavy weighted pressure plates, and they work very differently compared to the standard pressure plates. And that is because they are item or entity dependent, and that will result in a different or variable power strength. So here we've got the lightweight pressure plates, and when I throw down 14 items on there, or 15, no, I think it's 14. It's 14 items. When I throw down 14 items on there, you can see that it turns on completely. But when I get rid of some items, you can see that the power strength has gone down completely, and the more items I put on there, the stronger the power strength becomes. And the heavy weighted pressure plate works on the same principle, but it requires a lot and a lot more items before it reaches the maximum power level. And I think it's about 600 or so, but I'm not too sure. And as you can see, when I throw down all these 14 pieces of items, we reach a strength level of 2, which wasn't the case with the lightweighted pressure plate. Moving on, we've got a tripwire, which is basically a wire which detects if an entity or item has crossed it like so. And as you can see, it then gives off a redstone strength of 15, and we can also put something directly onto that block next to it. And it works also with players as well, and these are very useful for creating trap. And then we've also got a trapped chest, which is a input as well, and when you open a chest, you can see that the redstone dust underneath that block over here, on which the chest is standing on, turns on, and that will turn on this redstone lamp over here as well. So as you can see, it now gives us particles down here, and this is a way for you to create traps as well, and we can blow up a lot of friends this way also. But one thing that the trap chest has is that it only gives off a redstone strength of 1, and that is a different property compared to all the other items over here. Then we've also got a detector rail, which is basically a rail which detects if there are any minecarts on top of there, like so, and it will give off a redstone strength of 15 as well. Then we've also got a daylight sensor, which detects at the time of the day, and when it's midday, it will give off a redstone strength of 15, and when it's any other time of the day, for example morning, it will give off a weaker strength like this. And then we've also got the inverted daylight sensor, which basically detects the night sky. So when we make it midnight, you can see that it gives off a redstone strength of a maximum of 11, and that is a different property of the inverted daylight sensor. And I'm not too sure why this daylight sensor set to night mode only gives off a redstone strength of 11, but that's something very unique of the daylight sensor set to night mode itself, and it's something we will have to deal with. So that's about it for this episode of How to Redstone, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something new about the redstone inputs behind me. And there are actually many more redstone inputs out there that we can create, and those are with the comparator, but that is something that we will cover in another video, as that is a bit more difficult to understand, and the comparator is a block that will get a video on its own. So in the meantime, I want you to take care, like, subscribe to stay tuned for the other episodes of How to Redstone, and I will see you in another video. Goodbye!